Back to the album. Gim gets a song on the album, and is that a sitar? At the beginning?
Yes, it's a real one, which Andy played. I think I might have played one as well. And then there's a little electric one that you can buy from this shop in London where it's shaped it's about the size of this microphone, and it's shaped like a sitar. And you put a little battery in it, and you just press on and off, and then you pick the note what you want, and you can leave it on in your kitchen all day. Pretend you're in India.
Okay. Would you ever, and I know what the answer to this is, but I have to ask it, would you ever let Liam, Gim, or Andy write a song that would be released as a single from an Oasis album?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, but I don't pick the singles.
Oh.
You know, I don't. You know, there's this myth that I let everybody else write songs. You know what I mean? And it's a close shot. But with the waft of my hand, I say, well, you can write a song. It's not like that. Everybody writes songs, and our producer, whoever that might be, they pick the songs for the record. It just so happens, that mine tend to be the best. It's a fucking cross I have to bear, unfortunately. And I like on the last record, Andy had 2 on the last record, but he's only got 1 on this one, and Liam had 3 on the last one, but he's got 3 on this. It doesn't follow any set pattern. If for the next time around I write 11 songs and they all go on the album, people would just have to wear it, But I'm not really that. I'm not that fussed about the balance of who has what and where. I don't go in for all that.
Well, in the 8 years that Gim and Andy have been in the band, I mean, they've really become much better songwriters and much better players.
Well, I guess it's like if you're, you can be a good footballer but be in a great team, and you can automatically become a great footballer because you're in a great team, I guess.
When you played, there's a couple of things that you did here a few years ago. There was the acoustic tour that you did at the Danforth Music Hall.
Yeah.
Which was
I enjoyed that.
Which was tremendous, playing all the Oasis obscurities, which was fabulous. Then earlier on, there was a radio special that we produced, and it was in a studio, and you did a version of Wonderwall.
Did I?
You did, and it was absolutely, unbelievably the best version of Wonderwall anybody had ever heard.
Really?
And and we at the radio station began to play it. Wow. And the number of people who said, my God, don't play the original, play the one that Noel did for you.
Oh, Liam will be furious.
Well, he will. And then the record company says, Ignition doesn't want us to play this anymore.
Cowards.
It's a great version.
Yeah, well.
You'd make a lot of money if we put it out.
Well, I don't need any more money, but thanks for the offer anyway.
All right, just thought I'd ask. Yeah. Back to the record. Ain't Got Nothing, which is a Liam song, short and to the point, 2 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's another old one. That was demoed for Heathen Chemistry, I think. And the moment passed with that one, but that was the first song we recorded for this session. That was intended to be one of the extra tracks. But it came out kind of needing a bit of a lift towards the end of the album, so there we are. Now that does sound good live.
You gonna play it?
We're gonna play it.
Okay.
Yeah, depending on what mood Elvis is in.
Nature of Reality is a Liam song.
It's actually Andy's.
No, sorry, it's an Andy song, sorry. Yeah. And there's I like the middle bit because it features some sounds like really heavy ringing hi-hats. And it's got...
Yeah, it was the only song we played live in the studio, and it was only me and Zach doing the takes. The rest of this stuff was all done on computer and all done piece by piece by piece. That was a good day doing that one. It was just me and Zach done it like the White Stripes almost, just kind of stood face to face and bashed it out.
You know, it does sound like that. Now that you mention it, yeah. Okay. And the final song on the album is another Liam track. It's called Soldier On. And what's interesting about the 4 songwriters that appear on the record is that all 4 of you write separately, but there's definitely something in common with what comes out at the end. I mean, there's a vibe or a feel or at least a common direction with all you guys.
Well, we've all got the similar record collections, and I guess we all know each other quite well. We would never really sit down and discuss musical directions or anything like that. That'd be pretentious. No, we don't do that kind of thing. But I guess it's down to the records that we listen to. I mean, the one person that was directing the album was Dave Sardi, who how this all came about was we had 7 songs left over from the last record, and out of those 7 we thought 4 were really good. So to flesh out the rest of what was needed for an album, I went away and, well, didn't go away, but was kind of like, well, I better write a couple of more songs. So I wrote Bag It Up, which I thought was a bit of a joke, and I wrote Waiting for the Rapture, and they're both in a certain guitar tuning, and they're quite raw and quite bluesy. And we sent them over to Dave, and of course Dave had heard the other 7 songs, but he'd never heard these 2. And he came back and he said, have you got any more songs that are like this? And I'm like, well, probably somewhere. And that's when we started to go back and look at old stuff that we'd kind of dismissed or never got considered, you know. And then in the studio I wrote Shock of the Lightning and Falling Down and The Turning. So it was a very it's the only time I've ever been into a studio and not known what was going to come out the other end, because usually we go in, all the songs are written and we know what we're going to get. This is kind of a bit more exciting in that respect.